Okay, welcome home. I'm your anime manga mom. I told you I've been looking for a new anime. I was watching Attack on Titan with my husband late at night. Um, he was interested for a while, but I started way back when Commander Erwin got his arm bitten off by a Titan, because that's the last thing I remember him seeing. Anyway, we caught up. We got past the time skip. We got past um, Eren coming back and everything, to the point where I was in the anime. But it started getting to be too much. I mean, all of the angst and the yelling and the treachery and double crossing and oh, I can't believe you did that, kind of thing. It not quite what you want to feed your brain right before falling asleep. And my husband started complaining about it. If he would have been into it, I probably would have kept going and or even like neutral, but I do get it. It is hard to watch. It is hard to binge. And, this is his first time through it. So I decided, yeah, I'll go ahead and stop watching that late at night. But I needed something to replace it. And I looked for a bunch of things and I asked for recommendations. And I got some. Um, I started going harder on watching Dragon Ball because it's a lot more lighthearted, but it's not as plot driven and character driven. It's more circumstantial, and so uh, it's not going to be my number one. But it did kind of take off some of the pressure that you feel when you watch something heavy like Attack on Titan or uh, something like Tokyo Ghoul or Death Note, something like that. Um, One of my recommendations was watching Oku, the Inner Chambers, and I started that and watched a whole episode. The artwork kind of reminded me of Bleach, especially how they draw the structures and stuff like that. But I had just gotten way too sick of the news lately, and there's been a lot of gender ideology and roles and what people norms and cultural whatnot, and I wasn't into watching something that's kind of the whole spin on it. So it might be good in a different frame of mind, but right now it's not what I wanted. Something lighthearted, something fluffy, something wholesome, something comforting. uh, I started the Grimm Variations because that was recommended to me from Netflix. It is definitely horror, and I'm not a big fan of horror. I did watch the first episode, which was Cinderella, um, and it has a neat little twist to it. Um, it's not the worst. It's good. It's got like I said, it's got its own thing going on. Then I started the second episode, which happened to be Little Red Riding Hood, and I'm a little sensitive when it comes to essays, so this one was beyond my tolerance level, so I turned it off. And realizing that is all kind of the horror genre. Now I get it's Grimm fairy tales, but there's dark and there's horror, and this one crosses into horror. If you like stuff that subverts your expectations, that's gritty, that's uh, a little fantastical, then check out Grimm Variations. It's not for me. I even tried, going back to Akame ga Kill, which isn't bad, but like I said, I wanted something lighthearted and fluffy. So I found uh, a little gem on Netflix, and it was Kimi no Todoke, and it's about a high school romance. At first, I thought it was gender swap Toradora, because in Toradora you start off Ryuji has a kind of a delinquent look to him that freaks people out, makes people let him get away with, like, here's my wallet, please don't beat me up. But he's really not that kind of a guy. Well, in Kimi no Todoke, they call the girl Sadako, because that's, I guess, the name of a famous antagonist in a horror movie. I don't know. I'm not familiar with horror, but That's what they call her, even though her name is Sawako, which sounds similar but different meanings. But then as I started to watch it, I realized it's more of a Komi can't communicate because she's like very socially awkward and a little uh, naive and gullible, but great. She has a great heart. She's very helpful. Honestly, I've binged the heck out of this. I really, really was enjoying it. I can really identify with a lot of the problems that the girl goes through. I'm like, it brings back so many memories from school, especially earlier in school. Um, just on the way that her classmates treat her. So it's kind of cathartic to watch. Um, Another thing, I kind of think she's autistic coded because of the whole social inept. She has her own interests. She has her own way of looking at things. She doesn't really notice when people are teasing her or trying to manipulate her. So anyway, just take that with a grain of salt. If you're into that, then definitely check out Kimi no Todoke. If you want something that's lighthearted and wholesome, I'm like I said, I just started it. I'm already on episode 12, so I'm binging the heck out of this. It is great. But it's not. It's it's more shoujo, definitely from the the female perspective. Um, but it's it's one of those high school romance where it's like, should I call them by their first name, or is that too forward? I really love seeing those cultural um things put into shows. They do the whole sports and field day and everything. Just there's a lot of tropes that you see in high school shows that I really like. It's comforting to see them come up again and again and again. So uh, if that's if you're wanting something completely new and twists your mind, this isn't it. But if you want something that you can just sink into and be comforted, it's great. Okay. All right. Like I said, a lot of my anime preferences are based on my mood, and right now my mood is I want something uplifting. My sister-in-law has also recommended Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting, and I'll have to check that out because, yeah, a little comedy, a little romance, a little lighthearted, fluffy is perfect for me right now. What are you into? What is your favorite, I guess, style of anime? I mean, are you into isekai? Are you into, just straight up battle shonen? Do you like mecha? Do you like horror? Rom-coms? What's your thing? What's your thing? For me, it's based on my mood. I really like kind of a mystery, kind of like a dark, gritty, uh, reality based. I like absolute fantasy. um, I like rom-coms. I like comedy to a point, and I can pass on horror. Although, like a good mystery thriller, I would love. Anyway, it all depends on my mood. The battle shonens are okay as long as it have a plot and compelling characters. So, um, anyway, that's my thoughts. What about yours? All right, let me know. I'll talk to you next time and have a great day. Bye bye.